So heading into this season, many Texas fans across the nation were excited to see the growth from Quinn Ewers from his first season as a full-time starter going into his second season as a full-time starter. And thus far, he has been really good. However, there has been another player emerge on that Texas offense that today we've got to talk about. A player whose presence I feel like allows the entire Texas offense to maximize their capabilities, including Quinn Ewers. And of course, today we're talking about the emergence of talented running back Jonathon Brooks and why he's such an important part of this Texas offense. Before we can, as always, y'all know the drill. I have got to hear from you. Hop down to the comments, give me a Y for yes and an N for no, and two questions today. First and foremost, do you think Jonathon Brooks has a big game in the Red River shootout? And then secondly, do you believe he is an important catalyst to this offense maximizing their capabilities? I can't wait to hear from you. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification as I do constant college football content and you don't want to miss any of it. But having said all that, let's jump right into this. And for those of you that have been astute observers, Jonathon Brooks is a guy who is very talented coming out of high school. I actually had the good fortune of being able to talk to him when he was in high school because I was interning with Dave Campbell's Texas Football. And I enjoyed my time getting to speak with him, but really I enjoyed any opportunity I got to watch him play football because it was obvious then this kid had big playability written all over him. And really this season, the rest of the college football world has gotten to see what so many in the state of Texas saw back then. A very talented running back that if you give him an inch of space, he will take a complete mile. Whenever we look at this, Jonathon Brooks has really hit the scene the previous three games, where if we look over the previous three games, he's had over 100 yards in every single one of those three games. In one of the three games, he went over 200 yards. And if we look at this three-game stretch, he's averaging over 8 yards per carry, which is absolutely elite. In fact, if we look right now, he's the third leading rusher in the NCAA, and that's incredibly impressive because the Texas running game was trying to find their complete identity early in the season, and now they know. Jonathon Brooks is running back one, and what's scary is they still have very talented running backs behind Brooks, but Brooks has absolutely emerged as the bell cow in that room. And we need to understand why, in my opinion, that's such a positive for this Texas offense. Because yes, you have Quinn Ewers, former five-star quarterback, who in big games is absolutely dialed in. You've got an incredibly talented wide receiver room with several different options. At tight end, you have JT Sanders, someone who it's no secret I think very highly of, and your offensive line is fantastic in pass protection. But even then, one thing we know about Steve Sarkisian, he likes to run the football. I know there's this notion with Steve Sarkisian that the offense goes wherever the passing attack goes, but typically Steve Sarkisian is a guy that likes to open up his offense with the run. And if it's not happening with the run, he will use the passing game as an extension of the running game to try and get a defense soft, to get them honest so that he can then attack vertically. I think a great example of this is early in the Alabama game. Texas wasn't running the football up to their standards. So what did Steve Sarkisian do? He turned to the quick passing game as an extension of the running game, which then allowed their entire offense to really open up, get settled in, and allow them to dictate what they did to that Alabama defense. Now, that Alabama defense was still very solid, but that Texas offense, as the game went on, was able to open some things up. And ever since that game, it's been really clear. They've been able to establish a running identity, and now heading into this Texas OU game, I think that's one of the biggest facts for this game, is the fact that the Texas running game has really emerged during this portion of the season, and Oklahoma is still trying to find theirs. And if we look, there's a long history of the team that runs the ball well in the Red River Rivalry winning that game. So that's why Jonathon Brooks is not only so important to this game, but the rest of the season, because his presence eliminates pressure on Quinn Ewers. And if you're an offensive coordinator, if you're a head coach, or if you're anybody on that offense, you want to eliminate any pressure off of your quarterback that you can, because innately, there's already enough quarterback pressure. Anytime you can take something away and allow your quarterback to have one less thing to focus on, it is a net positive. The existence of the running game does just that. It gives the Texas offense another weapon, and what that means, it allows them to start affecting a defense, to get the defense in positions that the Texas offense can look at and say, yes, we are very comfortable attacking this formation right here, and we got you in this formation because we were able to dictate the pace of this ball game. And really, that's where I want to end this video on. It's so important to establish a running game in the modern college game because it allows you to dictate the pace of a game. And if you can dictate the pace of a game, you can find a lot of success. Because typically, if you can dictate the pace of a game, that means you're running the ball well. If you're running the ball well, that probably means you're affecting the defense enough to where you can get opportunities in the passing game. And if you're doing all that, your offense is humming. The other thing it allows you to do is keep the opposing offense on the sideline. One of the best defenses you can play is by having your offense be on the field for as long as possible. The running game allows just that. Allows for you to control multiple avenues of the game, including the clock. And yes, that is absolutely a big deal. So even looking past the Red River Rivalry, I maintain that one of the biggest pieces for this Texas offense is without a doubt Jonathon Brooks. 5-star quarterback Quinn Ewers, he is the leader of this offense, and they will no doubt go where he takes them. But Jonathon Brooks' presence allows pressure to be taken off Quinn Ewers, and it allows Steve Sarkisian to maximize the offensive play calling at his disposal. And personally, I think that is incredibly compelling. I'm interested in hearing from all of you. Hop down to the comments. Let me know what you think about the emergence of Jonathon Brooks, because he is a player that, if you've listened to the channel, we've talked about several times. Whenever we would talk about how do you replace Bijan Robinson and Roschon, one thing I'd always say is, well, you're not going to replace Bijan. Bijan is Bijan. Trying to replicate that, that's fool's gold. But what you can do is turn to your very talented running backs you have and let them shoulder the load. Jonathon Brooks looks more than capable and more than happy with being the bell cow running back for the Texas Longhorns, and the results are speaking for themselves. If this Texas offense gets clicking on all levels, they are going to be a very tough team to stop, and a big reason that they can get clicking on all levels is Jonathon Brooks and the existence of a very dangerous rush attack. Hop down to the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. That's it. See ya.